And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Joining us from Washington, David Drucker from the political news journal Roll Call. And from Charlottesville, Virginia, the aforementioned Dr. Larry Sabato. So, Doctor, you're a little generous to President Obama, giving him toss-up status in Florida and Ohio, are you not?
Well, remember, as you said, Bill, the election is months away. If the election were this November, I would have given both of those toss-ups to the Republicans, assuming they nominated a mainstream candidate.
Okay, but that's a little bit of a ruse, because your map reflects what's happening today. If the economy turns great, then a lot of these states are going to turn to different. I would say Mr. Obama will have a much better chance in a lot of these states. But right now in Ohio with John Kasich governor, and in Florida with Scott governor, both Republicans, people really angry in both states. I don't. The state polls say that President Obama is losing among independents, certainly big time in both of those states. Am I wrong?
Well, that's true today. But actually, my map is a projection of what I think it will be in November of 2012. So you think that
I've got 85. All right, you think the economy is going to improve then? That's what you're saying.
I think economic growth will. I don't know about unemployment, but look, there are 85 toss-ups. It isn't just Ohio, the 47 electoral votes in Ohio and Florida.
That's the ones that jumped out at me because of the statewide polling. How do you see this, Mr. Drucker? I mean, it looks like President Obama had the worst week of his presidency this week. Would I be wrong in saying that?
Well, he's had a couple of bumps. I think this was one of the worst. I think that what Larry says is correct in that we're 15 months away and a lot of things can change. I think for Obama, it's not about his job approval numbers so much as it is about the unemployment numbers. And those aren't supposed to change that much. And if they don't, he's going to have a problem. And what jumped out at me this week when we looked at all of the polling was that for the first time, if you look at trends since he has been president, his personal approval rating, not his job approval, but how people feel about him personally, dropped below 50 to 48%. That's according to the Fox News poll. And what usually happens is your job approval can be low for all kinds of time, for a long time, but people may still like you personally. When they start to sour on you personally, it can be a problem and portend that your low job approval might be baked in the cake. Now, there's still time for this to change, clearly, but I think it would be, if I were the Obama campaign, the most worrisome poll number that I would have seen this week.
Okay, but don't you both see the point that President Obama is now starting to look like Jimmy Carter? He's starting to look like he just can't handle the job. So you have the debt debacle, and that teed everybody off. I mean, everybody was teed off on both sides. All right, nobody happy with that. And that went on for 6 weeks. And then you have immediately after that sign, the stock market tanks, people lose trillions of dollars, and Americans are going, you know what? Something wrong here. So it's not about whether he's a good guy or whether this or whether that. It's a competency issue right now, Dr. Sabato, is it not?
Yes, it is. And look, Bill, at this point in 1983, Ronald Reagan was losing to most of the Democrats. At this point in 1995, Bill Clinton was losing to several of the Republicans. A lot can change. Oh, and George H.W. Bush was way ahead of everybody at this point in 1991. So a lot can change. But, Bill, if you're going to talk Electoral College, remember the fickle five. It's going to come down to the two you mentioned, Ohio and Florida, but also Virginia, Nevada, and Colorado.
Right.
Those
Nevada,
are the fickle
I'm
five.
saying the Republicans are going to win big time because of the Vegas collapse. Colorado, I don't know. That's a really strange, changing state. Iowa could go either way. But I'm telling you, in Ohio and Florida, I'd be very, very surprised. Final question to Mr. Drucker. I said last night that, and with all due respect, I mean that sincerely, that guys like Herman Cain and Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum and even Pawlenty, Governor Pawlenty, they don't have a chance. The stats say it's just no way they're going to rise up. Am I wrong to say that at this point?
I don't think you're wrong, with the exception of Governor Pawlenty, who, depending on how he does this weekend, could hang around long enough to be a factor because he has the pedigree in the background. But I think that it's very possible this could come down to Mitt Romney and Governor Perry from Texas and possibly Michelle Bachmann,
well,
although I think that she's got a tougher road.
Oh,
yeah, she's got a tougher road.
But she has a built-in constituency where the others don't. Am I wrong for dismissing realistically Kaine and Ron Paul and these guys, Dr. Sabato?
Not at all. No, it's going to be a governor or a former governor and probably one of the two you mentioned.
All right. Guys, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Next on the Rundown, we'll take you to Iowa. For